A profound hush fell over the alien shoreline. The surface of the black-blue lake shivered, a soft ripple spreading outward, breaking the perfect reflection of two pale moons. A gentle, mist-thin music seemed to drift with the night breeze, as though the planet itself were humming in its sleep. Above the horizon, a faint aurora cast ripples of turquoise light, mirroring the trembling water. Another ripple traced the lake's glassy skin. I crouched by the water's edge, my gloved fingertips just grazing the surface. The coolness seeped through my suit, a small reminder that even on worlds light years from Earth, water still obeyed the same quiet laws. Behind me, dunes of powdered violet sand stretched into the gloom, whispering under a restless wind. The breeze hissed across crystalline rocks, carrying the smell of ozone and distant thunder. Something small shifted near my boot. It was a metallic probe I'd set down earlier, and with a tiny click, it came alive. A status light blinked. Moments later, it slipped from the stone ledge with a muffled clatter, tumbling onto the softer sand. I grunted, annoyed but unwilling to look away from the lake. Then unexpectedly, a delicate bright music box melody drifted from my shuttle, perched upslope. It was as if the old ship were remembering an Earth lullaby. The tune spiraled gently into the open air, weaving a fragile bridge between the cold metal and the moonlit waves. The melody continued, harmonizing with the faint sigh of the wind. The notes grew richer, folding into bright piano chords, warm and strangely human amid the alien solitude. I allowed myself a soft hum, half amusement, half homesickness. A moment later, I raised my wrist blaster, aimed at a floating drone for calibration, and made childish pew-pew sounds with my lips, grinning beneath my helmet. The sound echoed absurdly off the rocks. "Orin," I murmured to myself with a little tune, still a kid at heart. From the slope behind me came another clatter of shifting tools. The cheerful music swelled, intensifying as though sensing a sudden tension. That was when the creature rattled, a dry, spine-tingling vibration that seemed to crawl up from the hollow lake bed. A shiver slid down my spine. I scanned the darkness as the bright music continued, but I suddenly felt brittle, like glass in the cold. A low, dramatic note surged through the air, not from any instrument, but from the land itself, as if the valley had just exhaled. Sand shifted, pebbles rolled toward the water. Behind me, the exploration unit powered up with a deep machine whirring, followed by the hiss of its cooling vents. The orchestration of metal and mystery deepened as the dramatic music continued, echoing inside the rocky crags. Inside the shuttle's cockpit, control lights blinked awake with soft beeping. In the distance, from across the lake, came faint creaturely chirps and hollow bellows, as though the shadows were trading warnings. My breath fogged the helmet visor. A pulse of green-blue light rippled across the lake's surface, timed with the rising dramatic crescendo. The beam flashed again, light pulsing, hinting at something stirring beneath. The tension coiled tighter. The first burst of energy split the night, laser shots, sharp pew-pews, and again the creature rattled, angry or afraid. The shuttle's core engines hummed to life, a deep vibration I felt in my boots. More laser bursts spat into the gloom, answered by the beast's bellows, guttural and wet, as if ancient lungs were clearing centuries of dust. The dramatic music held its grip as the creature thrashed unseen. Sand sprayed where its tail, or something like a tail, slapped the shore. The shuttle's turbines spun higher with an urgent whirring, joined by the cockpit's blaring warning alarms. I exhaled hard, feeling the sharp fog of fear condense inside my suit. Then, as if the universe itself changed key, a brighter music entered the moment. The creature's tone softened into a strange, low humming, mournful yet melodic, resonating through the rocks. I hesitated, torn between fight and wonder. The machine beside me shifted gears with steady whirs, the shuttle's consoles replying in a chorus of beeps and the deeper humming of engines. For a heartbeat, the air calmed. Gentle music floated back in like a hesitant breeze. A sudden crack of energy broke the spell. Laser fire again, the beast crying out, rattling and bellowing. The shuttle pitched forward, thrusters roaring, its core still humming between volleys of pew-pews. Deep beneath us, a power cell cycled up, machines whirring in labor. The clash reached its peak when an unseen object detonated with a sharp kaboom, rolling into a faraway thunder crash that rattled the dunes. The aurora overhead fluttered like a wounded banner. The wind returned, whispering over the scorched shore. I trudged up the slope toward the shuttle, each step a muffled crunch in the damp sand. The storm clouds peeled back just enough to let starlight fall on my visor. Gentle music eased in again, as if to soothe the battlefield's echo. Reaching the ramp, I paused, shoulders heavy, and released a long sigh. I watched the lake settle. Small, concentric ripples danced where, moments ago, energy blasts had torn the surface. The peace felt fragile. I stood there listening as the gentle theme continued, carrying the scent of rain and dust. High above, the second moon slipped behind the first, casting an opalescent ring across the horizon. Finally, from within the shuttle, the familiar music box tune returned, mingling with the distant whisper of the wind. For me, it felt like a memory of Earth, nursery melodies spun across an alien sky. The tune lingered softly into the closing moments, echoing across water and stone as the night grew still again, as if the planet itself had listened to our fragile truce. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment with your favorite part, and subscribe for more adventures. It means the world. See you next time.